Stick the sound on there. Ready? Yep. Here we go then, live one last time on the Manx National Rally 2024. This is round 3 of the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, and we are into the big one. This is the stage that includes all those iconic bits that we string together to call the Baldwins. It's the second running of the stage. There are 12.6 miles left, as you see our rally leader and indeed our championship leader heading through the final stage, and we're going to have reaction, including celebrations from our top 3 in the overall Protyre Championship crews and also the two-wheel drives. And talking of champions, our reigning champion Callum Black retired earlier in the day with Jack Morton alongside with a 30p clip, would you believe? That was all it was. I mean, I'm staggered that there's anything worth as little as 30p on a Rally 2 Fiesta. Not much M Sport tax in that bit, is there? But I'm pleased to say that despite retiring, he's still got a smile on his face, and he's with me at the finish here. Callum, this is not exactly... You did want to be talking to me at the finish, but this is not exactly what you had in mind.
No, not the weekend we really planned. We all had our issues yesterday where halfway through stage 1 I decided to hit the only rock in the stage. That wasn't a good start, which then bent the steering, and yeah, we got a puncture. And then on stage 4 yesterday we had a big spin and ended up having to reverse 150 metres up the road. It was just a bit of a disaster, to be honest. And then the evening was much better. We straightened the steering, which was a big thing, and then had a bit of a push and set some faster stage times. Jack and I are both really happy with the evening, got back up to 2nd, and then the plan today was to get the maximum points for obviously the next round, and started well, fastest in both stages. But halfway through the second one I started to get some oil sort of vapour on the screen, and I realised that probably wasn't a very good sign. I didn't have any alarms. I got to the end of the stage and we pulled up and we noticed some oil on the floor. Went down the road a little bit and the oil pressure alarm came up, and then we worked out that basically the oil hose that goes from the coolant to the engine, there's a little clip that holds it in, and it just come loose. It basically just snapped and then it worked its way loose. And without that, we tried to use some lock wire to lock wire it in, but the way it's made is a bit of a rubbish design. It has to hold it, keep pressure on the actual hose. So that was that really. We've obviously fixed the car now. It took 2 minutes with the right clip and the right O-rings, but yeah, it's rallying, isn't it? Unfortunately, that's that.
Yeah, no amount of prep will ever cover every single clip and O-ring, and that's, as you say, rallying. But you do love a good fight back, and you had more fun, I dare say, yesterday fighting back up to 2nd than if you'd have been leading away from the front.
Yeah, no, it's just a shame really. Like, I'm kicking myself a little bit because I didn't need to make that mistake on the first stage, and we knew we had the pace to win. It's just, yeah, it cost us dearly. And in hindsight, with the spin on stage 4, I was better off just driving round and getting the steering straight for the second loop. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, and credit to James, he's on a really good pace. Another Manx rally where I think it's caught a lot of people out. Yep. Yeah, no, it's been an enjoyable weekend when the car's been going right. It's just a shame that we didn't get the result.
Yeah, here last year, and at that point it looked very convincing that you were on your way to the title, albeit it was a fight right until the final round as far as the point situation was concerned, with Neil Roskell, who is still in the rally and is doing a good job out there at the moment in second place, heading towards the finish now in his final stage. Talk us through this last stage. The bouldering stage is the one that we all talk about. You've done it many times over the years. Is this Brandywell, there's Druidale, you've got the jumps, you've got the crowds. That's the stage, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's iconic. I remember speaking to Chris Clark of the course last year and saying about how it's such a nice stage to finish on. You always get to the end of that thinking that's a proper stage. It's got a bit of everything. The middle section coming up to Brandywell is very technical, but also a lot of bumps, and just you have to be really on it. I often find if you back off, it actually makes it worse on that section, which is quite hard, and it will be hard for James with what's he got now, like a 4-minute lead. Driving slow on that bit of road is not easy, as I found last year. So yeah, fantastic stage, and still plenty to catch you out. Lots of big rocks to catch on the inside, so you need to make sure you get your head down and get to the finish.
12.6 miles as well is a lot of mileage, isn't it? For looking at the sort of rallies that we'll do on a day-to-day basis, 40-mile total mileage on a lot of events now. So that's that's a quarter of the mileage of a full day normally.
Yeah, and you don't really have loads of straights. In some stages you get quite high mileage over it, but you've got, the first stage we did this morning, you've got like 750 long straights. So the mileage is quite high, but a lot of it's not that technical. Whereas you've got a lot of corners in there, and a lot of narrow technical naturally sections. So it's a case of having to really keep working at it all the way through the stage.
I'm getting used to do my job for me here, but while we've got you, I'm going to keep you talking. Talk about your championship now. Where does it go from here? Because that is a blow. You managed to, I think, limit damage yesterday, but the opening round wasn't so good for your 10th, I think, in the championship standings coming into this. And then you had that second place yesterday, which sort of keeps you there or thereabouts in the fight. But you've got to really commit now, haven't you? And can you do that for the rest of the season? Yeah,
we had a little brief discussion earlier, and really we just need to crack on, go to Jim Clark. And go to Argyle. We had a really good run on Argyle last year, and we really enjoyed it. Managed to get the win. So if we can do that again there and try and get a win on Jim Clark, then suddenly we're back in the fight. But we really do need to get 2 strong results there. And if James gets another win, then it's looking like it's fairly comfortable for him for the rest of the season.
That is Callum Black, you are hearing, who is our reigning champion here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Champion. Are you hanging around to congratulate the winners, or are you going to slink off to the bar?
Bar.
That's what I knew as I was saying that halfway through.
I've got to take my dad to the airport, to be fair, and I need a shower because I stink, as you can probably smell. So no, I
don't smell that bad to me, but this is going places I didn't want it to go. So we'll stop there, and I'll let you get off and get your dad to the airport. He's worked hard this weekend, and you found his glasses.
I did. Yeah, thanks you.
Thank you, Callum. Always a pleasure to chat to Callum Black, and a champion, a very popular champion in this series, who we're looking forward to fighting as we go through the series, because that's really important that we have that championship fight now. Paul Morris, you've put together this, I think last year was probably your, you probably looked at it as your peak year. We went fighting to the final round. We had that big title battle. There was a good feeling among the crews, a lot of competition, fierce competition on the stages, but then in the service area, the feeling was good. If Callum comes out fighting after this, and he loves a fight back, he'll be fighting back towards the last round. That's going to make this a classic, isn't it? We'll all be talking about last year for a few years to come, and this one might be one to add to that.
Oh, definitely. It's there's nothing more I'd like to see than Callum come back strong and fighting, and take it to the final rally at the Hills Ford stages.
So that is your championship coordinator, Paul Morris, you're hearing, former Works co-driver, and indeed has been alongside. Hey, I'm taking it. If I'd been a Works co-driver once, I'd be taking it as well. He doesn't like giving it the big one, doesn't Paul? But we'll do it for him. And Paul Wakely, and Donna Preston put an awful lot of work in behind the scenes here, which does need its recognition, does get it from the crews, and you guys watching at home probably don't see it as much as the people out competing in the series. So fair play to Paul. The work behind the scenes makes this championship what it is, and we hope you've enjoyed joining us this weekend. Apologies for the stop-start nature of some of the stages we've brought you live. That is rallying, and I've seen a lot of support for the decisions being made by the organisers, which is well deserved, because quick, decisive action saves mileage on these rallies, and none of the issues this weekend have been the fault of the organisers, or indeed a result of anything they've done. So they've had to just deal with a few circumstances beyond their control, which is one of the things that makes these people real life heroes, because don't underestimate the work that goes in behind the scenes, and from all of the marshals and the volunteers as well. along the route. 130 stage miles, just short of 127 altogether, penned in for this route this year. 15 miles over 2 days. That is an awful lot of manpower and an awful lot of passion and dedication to the cause, I would say. So if you are on the island with us this weekend and you see a team of marshals, just give them a smile. Brighten up their day, because they've worked hard this weekend for us all. So, coming into this final stage, it wasn't that close out in front, as you heard from Callum. James Williams has strung together a very impressive day. After yesterday, it looked like he was going to have a bit more of a battle on his hands today, but with Callum and Jack's retirement, that Orange Amplifiers I-20N Rally 2 has really been making music all of its own out there with a 4-minute lead in front. James Williams, that was very poetic, wasn't it? James Williams comes here to the finish if he gets through this final stage, which I'm looking at producer Wayne to see if the results are in, because I've been stood yakking. No results in as yet. They're teasing us with that. He came into this stage leading the way. Neil Roskell, last year's runner-up, and shall we say desperate? I think desperate is the wrong word at this stage, but certainly determined is the right word, isn't it? To get himself one step better and overhaul James Williams to take the championship lead. So if he can't win the rally, he needs to be coming second to get those points to do that. Hugh Hunter, Rob Fagg, well, what a job from them this weekend. It started a little bit rough yesterday. The car wasn't really on song. They had some setup issues. They had perhaps some confidence lingering from that incident last year, but they got themselves into the game and got some good points towards the championship. They sit third coming into this final stage. Then 2022 Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally champion Steve Wood is in fourth at the moment. Kenny Hull alongside. On the results we've seen in the last couple of years. So good to see Simon back in the mix fighting. Coming into this last stage, sixth overall, and it's Steve Simpson, and you could probably say the same for him as well, and the same comment about the Subaru World Rally car. You remember the comfort blankets? The John Indry comfort blankets from 10, 12 years ago. We talked to Melvin Evans about that earlier, weren't we? That was 10 years ago. We were filming those guys doing battle in these Titan WRC cars. The sound of an S12B on the Manx lanes will live with me forever. I am and will forever. Weekend, and he on the result in front of me. It's Will Hill in the Hills Ford Rally 3 Fiesta, back with his regular co-driver Richie Crozier alongside. Just inside the top 10 in 9th place. Brad Cole, an equal 9th on identical times after 66 miles today on the second day and indeed the third round of the championship. 66 miles an hour on identical overall times. Brad Cole, another one of our two-wheel drive chargers, real gladiators, these guys, hustling these escorts. Stood on Brandywell last night. I haven't got out on the stages that much with this new format. We tend to be in a studio van at the stage end, but to be stood there and just see how much commitment there is, you see what the pace is like in this championship. And you know, these two-wheel drive guys are really, really gunning it. They just aren't leaving anything in the stage. And Brad made a comment earlier that he'd left too much time in the stage on that very first stage of the day this morning. Well, don't think he'll be leaving anything on the table or in the stage when he gets to the end of today. a top 10 spot, and at the moment second in the two-wheel drive crews in an equal 9th overall. And splitting these three, or Will Hill, Brad Cole, and then Wayne Sisson, who sits just outside the top 10, is 1.7 seconds. That's the gap at the back end of the top 10. So Wayne Sisson, who again has had a really good performance, went off yesterday and had a bit of a knock to the confidence this morning, but since then has pulled it back. He's got back in the game, and you heard by his own admission that he was starting to get the confidence back quite quickly early on today, and that's paid dividends. He's just outside the top 10 and within a shout of getting back into it as well, split by 1.7 seconds from Will Hill, Brad Cole and himself in that Evo 10. That's how things are looking at the moment here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. You're looking at action from this final Baldwin stage. 12.6 miles, Druridale, Brandywell, names and locations that put the hairs up on the back of your neck. And we're just awaiting the times coming through. Donna Preston is shaking her head despondently, staring at the screen. Producer Wayne is doing the same thing. Actually, the tension down here it's not quite palpable. Big gap out in front, isn't there? So I wouldn't call it that, but we're all waiting to see those results come in. I was having a wander around the recce car park here at the TT grandstand earlier. I put a video out on Facebook earlier, but absolutely love the little Talbot Samba. Danny Cowell and Sarah Jane, cool, but cool by name, cool by nature, because it doesn't get much cooler than having a matching Talbot Samba with those glorious little Amil wheels as a recce car as well. And it's in beige, which, well, it's not far off Clan Crusader Brown, is it? Tell you what, producer Wayne, that's the first mention of a Clan Crusader all weekend. The Woodford Bingo has not been a lucrative one this weekend, has it, for anybody playing that? Although Callum Black used the word iconic before I did today, so. With some problems in the sky there, probably as a result of those northern lights last night and the aliens coming to visit, but our stream isn't currently as good as it could be. Let's hope it gets better for James Williams coming in. Donna, did you say he's coming into the finish now? So we haven't got any results yet. I mean, if he's here at the finish, we have to presume quite confidently that with that 4-minute lead, it's good news. And I think he'll be, well, I don't think, he will be absolutely delighted with that finish, because that's what James Williams wanted from this weekend. 2 maximum scores. He's earned it, deserved it, and not only has he driven superbly, he's been a fantastic flagman for the series, because he's just so mature and professional and goes about it in such an impressive way, and yet at the same time very modest, and yeah, he's still maintained that lead. So coming through the finish then, it looks like, have we got time from Roskell in yet? And so we still think quick maths puts him in second place, and that should at the moment keep Hugh Hunter in third as well, looking at those times through the final stage. So that should in theory be our top three. The two-wheel drive should be Darren Atkinson, Brad Cole and Will Rowlands, in that order. Donna, is that correct? At the moment, but we're still awaiting some of those times through into the stage. I can see the James Williams rallying team all packed away, ready. The truck's waiting for the car. It's just the last leg home. Trundling down the pit lane here at the famous TT Grandstand. I'll tell you what, there's one thing that is wrong with this Manx rally, and has been wrong for a few years now. It is a lack of crowds. We have crowds on the stages, on some of the famous stages, and we have sporadic pockets of crowds joining us along the route. But do you know what? This used to be such a big deal to the island and used to bring a lot of tourism over. It needs to do that again. This has been an incredible weekend. The action, the spectacle on the stages is wonderful, and so much work and investment goes in to making it one of the best rally away days, and probably one of the best rallies on the calendar, here or anywhere close to here. That's the one thing that I would say is wrong. The government needs to really get behind this now. We need to start ramping up the enthusiasm locally for events like this, because you know what, we're on the weekend, we're on the island all weekend. It becomes a party island for the rally. It's a really good feeling, and we want more people to share in that. There are people gathered in the pit lane to watch the cars trundle down, and of course the winning crews at the top of the field do tend to
Somebody mentioned car sexy. I think it was the copy of
Probably not. He's fully enjoying himself, you know. Once he got used to the strike, he had to go. Yeah. He's having to wind the lock on. I can feel it. I was like, oh, all the front tyres wearing away. I've seen them start line before now and got behind you and say, why are you running behind your running? Because it's not ready. End of story, you know. You don't want to go in and not there. Yes. No.
Has been grueling. 127-mile adventure around the Isle of Man on roads that have made and broken legends over the years. Told plenty of stories from the Isle of Man. We've watched growing up the stories from these roads, and we've had little links to that heritage this weekend with the likes of Mark Higgins back in a TR7 V8, no less, the first time in a rear-wheel drive car on asphalt, would you believe? Back on his home lanes that have made him very famous and sprungboard him to a rally career which has taken him to the very top of the sport and taken him to the James Bond films as well. Great performance from Mark this weekend with Carl Williamson alongside, as James Williams and Ross Whittock trundle into the finish here. These cars smell very hot, as you'd imagine. It sounds like a daft thing to say, but it's very real. Okay, to avoid any confusion, we are doing the podium for the overall rally, albeit the points are scored from each day. So it is James Williams, Steve Wood and Hugh Hunter in the overall rally podium. And as I mentioned a little earlier, James Williams, Neil Roskell and Mark Kelly take the podium for round 3 here on day 2. Come on, turn her off. Come on, Ross. What a weekend.
He knows what he's doing.
He does know what he's doing. That's why he's here. Come on, Ross, join us. It's about both of you. And it's about this fantastic car, which has served you well so far, hasn't it? James Williams, Ross Whittock, Manx Rally winners. Not only Manx Rally winners, winners of both days as far as the championship is concerned. I think that goes down as a pretty good weekend, James.
Yeah, solid weekend, to be fair. I'm just over the moon with the feeling I had in the car and the confidence I had to push on the stages, and that's just been coming this year. We haven't really had that so far, so it's just been really nice to have that. Everything worked well. Ross did an amazing job. The team's done a fantastic job to get me here. All my partners, sponsors and family back home supporting us, and it's just a massive weight off my shoulders to get my first win. That was the biggest thing for me. Really needed to tick that box. We said we were going to make a mark on British rallying this year, and that's what we want to do. So I think this result shows that we're going in the right direction.
Ross, it's a heck of a story to be watching from outside of the car, to be in that story and to be fighting with James here for this championship and for these rally wins must be one heck of an adventure.
Yeah, and like James said, you know, it's good for him to get his first win under the belt, you know, and it's good for me to be sat alongside him to help him do that. It's been quite relentless, this rally, you know, very, very fast, and problems last night, but yeah, we worked around it, managed it, so got it back, and yeah, good to win a rally, in a famous rally like the Manx as well.
There we go. It's one of the big ones, isn't it? Big bucket list rally for people just coming out here, let alone winning it. You are no strangers to these kinds of results, and you've helped manage many drivers to this level. How does he compare? How has he managed this weekend? Because it's not easy when you're out in front on these lanes. You can't, Callum mentioned it earlier when we were chatting to him, you can't back off.
No, you can't back off, and you know it's so fast and it's so narrow in places that you know any mistake is big consequence. So yeah, no, he did well to manage it, and yeah, like you say, you don't want to back off too much, and even though the gap's high, but I think we showed that we could manage the rally quite well. So.
What do you want to say is the fastest man in an orange suit you've ever sat with?
You've got orange amplifiers on the car. You've been making your own music out in front this weekend. You've had one heck of a weekend. What's your standout moment? You're allowed more than one, but just give me a little soundbite, something that really stands out for you stood here now.
There's so many from the weekend, but just that Druidale stage at the end, not that last stage, but the one before when we had a proper push through it. The feeling I had in the car was incredible, so that just puts a massive... personal sponsors, so look, hopefully this is a little reward for them and many more to come.
Last day hanging in a car, but no, it's a little bit of a monkey off the back just to get through. A bit of a psychological thing because it was quite a big accident. So
And lovely to have Beth here as well. I know that you had Rob's family here during the weekend as well.
Rob's wife and child are over there now, so yeah, it's great to have them here. And we're just really happy, to be honest. We've had a couple of things this weekend, but we kept going. Car was going well at the end, so I was very, very cautious up Druidale both times, as you'd expect. But once we got up to the cottage, we had a good go down the Baldwins. It was really, really, really exciting.
Rob, we weren't sure that you'd be back after last year, and indeed that was one thing that he said himself when I spoke to him on Ceredigion, and he just wasn't sure if that was it for him. But here you are, and you're on the podium on the Manx, home event, your lanes, your crowds, and I know you've had a bit of a ball. It's been hard work though.
It has been hard work, Paul, to be honest, but you know, Hugh's done the job this weekend. We came here and we knew this was the place to get his mojo back. If he didn't get it here, it was going to be a struggle because he loves these lanes, and you know, we put a lot of work into the notes over the last couple of events, even more than we ever have before, and it's worked. It's paid dividends. You know, we've got a bit more to find, I still think. And I think it's, you know, it's in us and the car. So working with Phil and the team, you know, they've done a great job prepping this and keeping us going. We've had some other people in the outside, you know, helping out. Same with Neil has had. But it's been a fantastic weekend. You can't beat the Manx in this weather. And I think Hugh said it, if you can't enjoy the Manx and Baldwins in this weather, then you might as well pack up rallying.
Family joining you as well, which is nice. Nice Saturday celebration with the family now.
Yeah, it is. My little lad, he doesn't obviously remember much of last year because I was getting pushed home. You can hear him shouting. But, you know, it's great to have them here and, you know, hopefully you'll remember some of this and we'll have some more success in the future. But it's been a fantastic weekend, and you know, all the marshals out there, you know, you can't do without them, and the organisers have had some tough problems to deal with, but it's been fantastic.
Fair play, quick decisions, which is what we need to get the rally going after things go wrong and circumstances out of our control, hold things up or whatever. Hugh, what does this mean for the championship? Do we see a big drive from you, big commitment to go and push for it now? Because we know that's happening with James.
Well, yeah, well, you know, we're going to be up in Scotland, up at Duns in a couple of weeks, so we'll be there. We'll definitely be Argyll as well, and then we'll take it from there. I think we'll just do a step at a time. We'll see how we go. Obviously, we didn't score very well on the Northwest, and then we scored reasonable yesterday, and obviously pretty good today. So we'll see what the next two events bring, and then we'll take it from there.
Championship fight looking interesting. Well done, gents. And Steve Wood, Kenny Hull, if we can get you guys over near the car. Come on, guys, we'll get you over near the car. Second place here on the Manx Rally. We haven't necessarily seen, and I said this of a few drivers this weekend, but we haven't necessarily seen both the pace and the look that has to come together in order to win championships that we saw in your championship winning year for a while now, have we? So for both of those things to come together at once is pretty magic.
Yeah, it's a different car, and fair play to Johnny and Eddie for coming over from Ireland, and yeah, we're getting it sorted slowly with the car.
Does it feel good to be back in that loop and back in the groove with the pace and the look on your side?
Oh yes, it is. Yeah, it's just unbelievable what these cars can do, you know. And once you get that in your head, it's great.
Kenny, he seemed relaxed all weekend. I haven't had much chance to chat to you this weekend, but he seemed relaxed. It's not always been the case in the last few rallies. Things haven't come together very well, but it just seems to have flowed.
Yeah, no, it's a very tough rally, and look, I mean, we've shown it's all about endurance and survival and finishing the rally. So yeah, did my best to try and keep him calm all weekend. So yeah, it's worked. So delighted. You know, we're third here last year, second this year. So
what will happen next year, I wonder?
Who knows?
He's a former champion. You know, a champion's drive from you both, would you say?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we weren't necessarily the fastest, but you know, we kept our head and drove, you know, within ourselves, and that's paid off.
So I've asked the other two. I didn't need to ask James, of course, but Hugh has said that means for him it's commitment to the championship from here on in. It's try and string the results together and try and be there at the end of the day when we're fighting for that title at the end of the season. Is it the same for you, Steve?
No, I haven't got an entry.
It was going so well.
Yeah, I know. Or Argyll. So I'm out in Carlo next weekend, so it's juggling between Ireland events and the Protyre events. Yeah.
So if the Jim Clark goes well for you, we might be having a very different conversation.
Could be.
There we go. There's a little glint of something there. Well done, chaps. That is a very interesting podium here on the Manx. Ford, Hyundai and Skoda all represented here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Championship. That's a very popular podium it is as well in the overall podium here in the championship. I think you'll agree. Lovely to see the genuine life. So this is big win for him, big win for the championship, and it means that from here on in, we've got a battle on our hands. We just need to spray some champagne now, I believe. here on the Manx. Everyone on the stage. So, Mike and Chris should really start to pull some pace together as well, haven't they, in that Rally 2 Fiesta. Commentating got involved with the live coverage on. You can't buy these, you can only win them by getting involved. We want to get you guys involved in our coverage in 2024. That was the plan. And anyone who got involved in either today or on the Border Counties with Sam will be in that draw. We hope you've enjoyed the action from both the Protyre BTRDA and the Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championships today. The Manx Rally, the Border Counties Rally, and in 2 weeks' time we move on to the Jim Clark Rally. Big events, big prizes up for grabs, and hopefully some interesting stories to tell you along the way. We're certainly enjoying bringing you those stories. Correction to earlier, because it's not so. Of course, we've got podiums from day 1 and day 2 in the championship, and also the overall podium here, which you see in front of you. And there's my confusion. There's no rally driver excuses exercised.
The pace was there on the stages where we went clean, but yeah, it's rallying, isn't it? I
said to Steve, you've got to have the pace and the look at the same time, otherwise you're not taking the wins, and we've seen that from Steve for the first time in a while because he's had one or the other.
Yeah. But fair play to these boys as well, because they've kept it clean, and James's pace all weekend has been amazing. So no, it's yeah, fantastic.
It's Mark Kelly. You saw him in the Skoda with Will Atkins stringing together a heck of a performance this weekend, but as you heard, the look didn't quite go his way. A brake caliper yesterday and a delay today, dropping them around 30 seconds in that last stage. So tough weekend, but here he is at the finish, celebrating with the rest of the competitors in this fantastic championship. That is your Manx Rally podium. James Williams has been waiting a long time to spray that champagne. He's been waiting a long time for that, and he does deserve it. Look at the look on his face. A combination of delight and relief as well. Finally, as he said, got the monkey off his back. He's got that win. Let's have a quick word with Dad.
Hello.
How do you feel?
Top of the world.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's done it, hasn't he?
Yep. Been a long time coming, but it's a great feeling.
He's done it on the Manx.
Yes. Yes.
It's a big one to do it on.
Yeah, an iconic rally, yes. Very good.
And you've been following the results like we have, and there must have been nervous times despite the lead, because that is a formidable list of entries and a formidable performance from a lot of his fellow competitors this weekend.
The last two stages, my finger was, if the guy that did this app had a penny for every time I pressed this button this weekend, he'd earn a fortune.
We've all been doing that. It's a popular win. Well done again, James. We'll see you very soon on the Jim Clark.
You will, and hopefully another result like this.
And hopefully another result like this. Callum Black, who we spoke to earlier, will be hoping he can get back on terms at that round, as will the guys either side of James on the podium here, and a number of others besides. But we will we'll continue the celebrations here at the TT Grandstand in Douglas here on the Manx Rally. If you've been tuned in this weekend, we hope you've enjoyed the action. We hope you've enjoyed sharing some of the story with us. And we're just waiting for the results in to confirm our two-wheel drive podium. Brad Cole has had an accident in the last stage. We believe it's somewhere near the dam. So we just need to wait for that news to come in and hope that everything's okay there, because it does sound like something's gone quite wrong in that last stage for Brad Cole, who was looking like taking second in the two-wheel drive podium here. Sam, can I have a word with us, actually? Sam Touzle's joined us down at the finish. It's nice to see other drivers coming to enjoy the celebrations, and of course you're hoping that you'll be up there very soon doing the same thing. You've had Matt Edwards alongside you this weekend. He stayed out of my way this weekend, hasn't he? I told him I was going to come and have a chat, and he has strategically stayed out of my way.
He's been dodging that bullet, hasn't he?
Has he been busy? Have you got? You must have gained something. We were talking about this over breakfast this morning, because he's been doing a few pace notes, but ultimately you've got him in the car for probably a very different reason. We know he's good on the pace notes, but there's something else you wanted from that.
Yeah, I've had it this weekend, actually. He's also been calling notes, but telling me how to be in the corner, how to approach, how to exit, like follow lines. And to be honest with him, at the last stage, I got ahead of him, which was the first time all weekend, and he didn't put a wrong. I just thought he sped himself up. But hats off to Matt. He's for getting in the car to help me out, to help me progress in what I want to do. I thought I'd best come and have a look at this, because I'm in the top 10. So
smell the champagne, can't you?
I can smell it. I know. Hugh's in the team, so I can see it. But I also want to say thank you to you, my mum, and everybody at home, and people that can't actually come to these events that have people in them. Appreciate what you guys do, because if without you, there'll be no coverage, and people would be questioning what is going on. So thanks a lot to you, Paul. Thanks to your team, and see you at Jim Clark.
See you at Jim Clark. Thanks, Sam. Sam Touzle over here from Jersey. Long journey home for him and the rest of us, but first there are some celebrations, and no doubt a party or two on the island tonight, because that's another thing that makes the Manx so great. But how nice is it to see the drivers who want a taste of that champagne themselves very soon, and will no doubt get it, you have to say that, wandering around I will get some more reaction as we look around and see who we've got down here. I can see Mark Higgins pulled in and the TR7 V8. He's not close enough for me to go and grab a word, I'm afraid. But perhaps he'll come down this way. When James Williams said that he'd got a little set of glasses, I thought he was talking about you. He'd got you a special little pair. Nice little family celebration here at the finish with Rob Fagg and his family. Atkinson looking nice and chilled, just leaning on the car the other side and neglecting to notice that we actually have a conversation to have here. Come in nice and tight, Nazzy. Someone said to me earlier, Darren doesn't look like he's on it. He looks too smooth this weekend. That was last night, actually, wasn't it? And yet the Times told a very different picture. As they say, smooth is fast, isn't it? And you've kind of reined that in a little bit recently. Do you think?
Yeah, it's gone well. Obviously, we've been doing a lot on the notes yesterday. Matty's been bracing himself for it. He's not had many bollockings, but there was just a couple that was
bollockings.
Quite a few, actually, yeah.
You asked for that. Sorry, you were saying it was a tough rally.
It's a tough rally, yeah. It's, we're here at the end. Fantastic event, for the organisers to put it on all the marshals. It's a big commitment. It hasn't rained, but it's,
Brilliant, yeah, it's drove really well. We had the moment yesterday, didn't we? But we had a plan, stuck to it, and then today we had a plan this morning, stuck to that, see where we're at, and then if we need to turn it on, we could, and we just turned it on when we needed to, didn't we? Let's manage it.
You feel like you've exercised the demons of last year, with a new sponsor on board last year. You were expecting so much from this event that didn't turn out.
Yeah, it was a bit upsetting, but it's come good. Simon's here from Haldane Fisher, and he's over the moon. We wasn't nearly here. Come the last stage, Damien Toner, he lent us a spanner, wire had come off the alternator, and otherwise we wouldn't have been here. end of. So, you know, thanks for Damien for lending, you know, helping us do that. And yeah, we wouldn't be here.
Fastest two-wheel drive, boys, and the championship is coming alive, isn't it?
It is coming out. Jim Clark next, so we've got that to look forward to. That's a nice event.
Has he confirmed for the car for Jim Clark?
Yeah, I'll be there. Thanks.
That's a confident look. Well done, chaps. Fantastic performance from them, and wow. Will, Emir, what can I say? You have impressed so many people this weekend. I actually, come nice and tight for me. I've had quite a few messages last night from people, some of whom I think you probably knew, and other people who were just saying how impressed they were with what you were doing in a historic car. We see historic cars and we see two-wheel drive cars going well all the time. You know, we see giant killing performances in this championship, but this has been something special because at times you were hustling cars right at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, to be fair, Friday, I think it was one of the fastest I've ever driven.
You did say to me, I've got nothing left.
I didn't really. So just a quick story. So after Rally Cerrig-Diggion, my arms was hanging towards every last sort of couple of mile of stage. Sort of, I wouldn't say give up, but I give up. If you know what I mean. So I thought, if I'm going to drive this car again, I'm going to get fit. So I've just lost 3 stone and got myself fit, and it's made a massive difference. But yeah, the pace that I think we did was phenomenal.
I did want to mention that because I had heard that, but I didn't want to be rude and mention it without you mentioning it first. Emir, you've got a wealth of experience saying these cars, and this weekend must have been a real standout for you.
It was pretty special. Yeah, we had a good laugh, didn't we? And yeah, bent to steering arm, last 3 stages, we had to back off a little bit, but I think this morning over Druiddale, that was pretty special.
He said he scared himself earlier. He said he was frightened. Were you frightened at any point?
No, never. There's one bit we came to a cattle grid and I thought, I was waiting for the crash on the back end, but we got away with it.
Did you say "Dear God" after it in hushed tones?
Yeah, no, but we sort of Druiddale, and I said to them, you know, if we're going to go, we'll go now. And I think we said 7th fastest the whole rally. So, and that was it then. Yeah, but we went out of service, and first corner we caught a rock on the inside. So we'd done the last 3 stages with a bent bottom arm, and fair play to Rob Smith. He borrowed his tools and borrowed. You know, and I'm sure Chris Woodcock, you know, before the rally, I think he's had a bit of hassle. We obviously, you know, so many people wanted to do the rally, so you've got to give credit to.
Wow. Come on, nice and tight around the car. It's been one of those weekends, and we mentioned this to you a couple of times. The pace in the two-wheel drives have taken quite a few of us by surprise, even those of us who kind of expected it to be hot. It really has been kicking.
Yeah, seriously, and the pace is just unbelievable, really. And to be fair, we're only here because obviously Brad and Max.
Yeah, we're too bad actually, we haven't been able to count that.
Yeah, Ireland as well, so yeah, great, yeah.
Ian, I haven't had a chance to speak to you this weekend, but I've seen when I've been chatting to him and you've been nodding along when he's been talking about how fast it's been.
Yeah, it's fair play. As I say, first time in the island. I've thankfully been here a few times, and hopefully that helped with a bit of wisdom. So, but yeah, he's pushed on really well and everything. So yeah, cracking event, can't fault it.
And people watching at home, a lot of them will understand the sport and understand how it works inside the car, but there are some people that won't, and experience does count here, doesn't it? Because just describe to me some of those moments out there and some of those places where you really do need to have that knowledge just to push on or back off and know what to do.
Yeah, hopefully, as I say, it's like you feel sometimes that you're holding them back, but I think the respect word was coming down from Brandywell down to the start of Baldwin's and everything, and you've just got to respect it, because I've been off there before as well. Little London, I've been off before as well, so it's them sort of things stick in your mind, and you see where the skid marks are. So
where you were telling me, back off, and I was just... And you thought he was holding me back, but I was locking up, going into a corner opposite way, and I was like, oh God, and he went, told you. I was like, yeah, all right, Mr. Taylor, always right. But yeah, it was great, wasn't it? Absolutely great, yeah. So, no, Mr. Taylor's done well this weekend.
Alan Morgans, Ian Taylor, completing our podium here in the two-wheel drives in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship this weekend. We mentioned Brad Cole and Dan Petrie there. They have gone off near the dam in that last stage, so a word for them. They've been fantastic all weekend. If you're watching this, guys, get well soon. We'll see you back on the stages, hopefully for the Jim Clark, but it just sounds like that might be a bit of a tall ask given what's happened this afternoon, but you have created such a fight out there, and these guys have all mentioned your performance. Thank you for watching at home this weekend. We hope you've enjoyed the live action. Stay tuned to the Championship social media for any updates as we go through the rest of this weekend. Right now, I think there's going to be a few sore heads in the morning, and there's time to go partying, which is what we tend to do on the Isle of Man after a successful Manx rally. And let's say this has been a pretty successful couple of days as far as the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship is concerned. Thank you for watching. You'll be able to catch a highlights programme in the special stage rally show in association with the Mini Rally Challenge at the beginning of next month, which will of course include the Jim Clark Rally, which is where we head next. In a couple of weeks we'll be on equally iconic lanes north of the border in Scotland for the Jim Clark. We'll see you then. For now, thank you for watching, and if you're on the island, safe journey back.